On the international front, 2015 would go down in history as the year that turned the City of Lights and Love into the City of Terror. The year was 7 days old when Paris was shocked to the core by the Charlie Hebdo massacre. Two brothers, who identified themselves as members of Al-Qaeda's Yemen branch, stormed into the offices of the satirical weekly, killing 11 members of staff for again publishing cartoon images of the Prophet Muhammad. They went on the run, killing another 5 people and wounding 11 more. Both were killed by authorities 2 days later. Another 2 days later, 40 world leaders joined millions of people to march in Paris declaring, "Je suis Charlie," I am Charlie. Another 10 months later, Paris was again rocked even harder, as the Eagles of death metal played to a packed Bataclan music hall. Armed men stormed in, guns blazing, killing 89 people. More armed attackers and suicide bombers were meanwhile targeting other venues and civilians enjoying the Parisian nightlife. A total of 130 people were killed, 368 wounded. It was Friday the 13th of November, and this time the Islamic State terror group ISIS claimed responsibility. Again, the Western world rallied around France, and several NATO members committed to more might against ISIS targets. While the West has been bombing ISIS targets in especially Syria, the response to the Boko Haram terror group, infamous for kidnapping 276 schoolgirls in Chibok last year, has been less decisive. Operating from northern Nigeria, it's estimated that Boko Haram has killed some 20,000 civilians since 2009 and displacing more than 2.3 million people. In Somalia, the Islamic armed group Al-Shabaab maintains control of large areas of south-central Somalia. In other parts of the world, war, poverty and economic strife have led to thousands fleeing to Europe for a better life. In April, the term European migrant crisis became a commonly used phrase after 5 boats carrying some 2,000 migrants to Europe sank in the Mediterranean Sea. 1,200 people died. This was just the first of many heartbreaking stories, giving a human face to the desperation. According to the UN High Commissioner for Refugees, by December 2015, the top 3 nationalities of the almost 1 million Mediterranean Sea arrivals since the beginning of the year are 50% from Syria, 20% from Afghanistan and 7% from Iraq. The European Council on Foreign Relations gave the EU a D+ for its response to the crisis. Not that Europe was spared unseen economic fallout when the Greek debt crisis came to a head. Years of irresponsible borrowing, spending and inefficient tax collection saw Greek banks capping daily withdrawals, shop shelves empty and Greeks protesting in the streets. It threatened the Eurozone and ended with billions in bailouts, for which Greece had to agree to unpopular austerity measures. Experts estimate that Greece may not reach financial stability until the year 2020. And finally, property mogul and former reality TV boss Donald Trump has shaken up the race for nomination as presidential candidate when Americans go to the polls in November 2016. The Don has not been out of the news since announcing his ambitions for the White House on the Republican ticket on the 16th of June under the slogan, "Make America Great Again." Trump has made it clear that immigrants would not be welcome, insulting Mexicans, Muslims and women. He's one of the 14 Republicans still in the race for nomination, scoring high in the polls but lower in the pundits' prediction of likely nomination. On the Democrats' side, former First Lady and grandmother Hillary Clinton is still the frontrunner to become the first female presidential candidate. She is only one of 3 remaining Democrat candidates. The parties will decide at the end of July 2016, and the 2 winners will go head-to-head on the 8th of November for the presidency.